Sheikh, I would like to know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, on the day of judgment is going to be 50,000 years. So, how is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala question all of us? There's a hadith that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that you will be questioned about 5 things. How did you spend your life? What did you do with it? How you spent your youth? And what you did with it? How you earned your wealth? And how did you spend your wealth? And what did you do with the knowledge that you got? So will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only question only these 5 questions? Or is He going to question each and every single thing, like statement which we made from our mouth, every action that we did throughout our life? For example, if a man lives for 60 to 70 years, will Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hold him accountable for even a mistake which he made in his early 20s, and will He bring him into account on the day of judgment because of that issue? And
Akhi, Faiz, if I say that yes to all of your questions, what are you going to do?
Of course, I'll make sure that I don't make a single mistake. I don't commit sin.
Okay, then the answer is yes. Simple as that. See, this is what shaitan does. Occupying you with things that would not benefit you. What would benefit you is, I have to block Facebook, block Instagram, block Snapchat, because it is taking me away from Allah Azza wa Jal. I have to stop watching movies, listening to music. I have to stop free mixing. I have to learn my religion, Quran. But shaitan doesn't want you to do this. He wants you to sit there and say, how is it possible that Allah would do this and this and this and this? But I'll get it to your question, inshallah. He says, how long is the day of judgment, which is 50,000 years? How is it possible that all these billions of people, Allah Azza wa Jal would ask them the 4 questions, or the 3 or 5, or 5 questions, 4 or 5 questions, and would Allah Azza wa Jal go into details with them? Oh, Akhi, this is totally disrespecting Allah Azza wa Jal. To think for a moment that Allah cannot ask the trillions of humans and animals and birds and fish and ants and viruses and bacteria and everything that Allah created that we can tell, and things that we do not even know about, to think that Allah is not capable of doing that is an insult to Allah. First of all, if you want to really ask a question of this category or of this caliber, how could Allah create all of this? And I always give this example, this eye that we see through, so magnificent that even the best of technologies could not manufacture something to replace it with blind people. Yet there are 14 billion eyes, human eyes, at the moment. And there are billions in the making in the mother's wombs. And Allah Azza wa Jal made all of this. And don't ask about the trillion of eyes of animals, of fish, of birds, of insects that exist differently and perfectly in this universe, let alone what's the things that we don't see. So when you ask such a question, this means that you don't really know who Allah is. Allah Azza wa Jal told us that we will stand in front of Him and we will be questioned. وَقِفُوهُمْ إِنَّهُمْ مَسْئُولُونَ. We will be questioned for sure. But there are 2 types of questions. One is in general, and 2 is in detail. So those who are questioned in general, they are forgiven and pardoned. But those who are questioned in details, you did this when you were 20 years of age, you did this on that particular night, you did not pray Fajr on that particular day. Those who are interrogated and held accountable for each small thing, those who will be doomed and thrown into hell. As the Prophet said, ﷺ, whoever is interrogated about his record books, he will be tormented in hell. May Allah save us. So, Akhi, don't spend much time on such things and focus on what I am doing today. Am I on the right track? Am I on the right path? Have I memorized sufficient amount of the Quran? Do I know the tafsir? Do I know fiqh? Is my aqidah well? Am I enjoining a virtue and righteousness and forbidding evil and vice? All of these things, you will be held accountable on the Day of Judgment, and Allah knows best.